So the fairies have ended their tale, and so the hatred has without any doubt confirmed one thing, and that is people are hypocrites. Not that that's a surprise, but what do I mean by that? Well, I mean by this saying one thing. People say they are against bullying. Then I say, oh really? You have bullied Fairytale non-stop. So in a way I'll say, you are all hypocrites. You say you you detest bullying, but your hatred has become just clear bullying for all that. But so, Fairytale have ended. And this is not a live reaction, but it is a special occasion. So you know what? I will take these off and say to all the haters out there, true, I understand why you guys did not like this ending, which I will confirm, but I still curse all the hatred to the bottom of my heart. Now that we have done with that, what about the chapter, and why do I think the people will really hate on it? Well, they have never stopped hating on it. But one thing I think I know how we can summarize this chapter easily. It's basically just an extremely happy ending chapter. Nothing bad happened, just happy ending. And people nowadays, at least, hate happy endings because for them they feel it's just too cheesy and just too, well, you know, My Little Pony like. Then again, people really like watching My Little Pony. If it weren't for those, well, I just prefer to watch it in my own home country. Guilty as charged. I do not prefer the English one, mostly because of the voice cast. But that, yeah, I think the reason why people really dislike this one is because, well, it's for them too happy ending, not enough drama. Will it be heartwarming on the TV Tropes page? It better. But what about the chapter itself? Well, first off, a year has passed, and Lucy has won a reward. She finally wrote a novel, The Adventure of Irish, and she has finished it. I mean, that's one of her first happy novels. She finally finished a novel. One of those days, I hope I can finish my book. But I highly doubt it will become as successful. As we see a final cover page of all of Fairytale having the time of their life. Yeah, it's a very cute page. As they all talk about as the people all talk about the reward, it turns out Lucy invited Fairytale, who is really, really noisy. And Grey, of course, well, has stripped. So Lucy feels like it's kind of embarrassing the fact that they are partying all like this. Natsu and Grey still fighting everything else. So, and Juvia also want to strip, although gets stopped. As Lucy summarized basically what happened. So she begins to write her story, and eventually that won the year award. Uh, she did sell the book, but she did not become rich. I think it's pretty funny that the fact that the manga page is actually lampshading that, but despite not growing rich. Oh yeah, and Anna is still here, although it is still, you know, a bit weird. Well, you know what? If one thing I can complain about, it could be that. It made sense for me that Anna came to the future from after writing the past, but her being alive, you know, technically that should be a time distant something, but you know, we all shouldn't argue with time. Time is the one thing that will never make sense for. But she is now a teacher of young kids, homeroom teacher, and the fact that mm, uh, and the fact that Natsu and Gajil is both saying that they smell nice, and the fact that Gajil teases Natsu with "So you like Anna Sensei?" Yeah, so what? Hey you! And Levi and Gajiel is getting along very well. Well, Gajiel did confess his love to her, which, by the way, even if that scene was, trolled, and by the way, I'm glad it was trolled. I really did not want Gajiel to die. It didn't change the fact that at least at that moment, that scene was very highly emotional. So Levi whispers something in Gael's ear that makes him blush. Even Lucy blushes because all she heard was baby. And then she looks at the cute Wendy, who blushes even harder. She must have heard it too. Are you kidding me? Is Levi really pregnant after all? In the end, we didn't get a single kiss. And Wendy is still performing with the Blue Pegasus. And slowly but slowly, Sherry is getting back her magic, which is also something I like. Sabretooth is still going as they can. Blue Pegasus is still, feeling like Ichigai is the destiny. Mermaid Heel, they have become models for the weekly sorcery. And until the very end, we never ever ever saw the master of Mermaid Heel. I mean, don't get me wrong, that master wouldn't have made any difference in the story, but at least that would have confirmed one theory. And what is that theory? Well, I wanted to find out if the Mermaid Heel Master actually was a man. If it was a man, then it's obvious that that man was a Casanova. Or perhaps it was a gay man who just liked to have ladies. Or better yet, what if it was a lady who was a lesbian and only wanted ladies in her guild? I mean, we never got a scene at this master. But then again, there were a lot of characters in Fairy Tail we never saw. And I will get to that in the ending. Kana and Lucy is still getting along, but Yuvia also wants to strip, but Gray takes Yuvia a little bit uh, at the side. We see that Yuvia has a scar after her attempted suicide, and just as Gray does. As they all talk, uh, the in a way they talk in a very cryptic way. It's basically saying like Gray asks Juvia why he hasn't asked when they remove it. She says that Gray has also a scar. So Gray just says, "Men and women are different. Your body is, my body is. Well, maybe it should be mine." Uh, so whatever that means, if that's the close to a confession as Gray has gotten on the screen, then besides the fact when he thought Yuvia was dead, is that meant to say, "Will, can I take you?" Yeah, that's kind of cool. When they overheard it again. So, Elfman and Le'Ever, they seem to have gotten together. Luxus is getting closer to the guild, but it's not confirmed if he's dating Mira, Lisana, or Kana. Well, given the fact that Kana is bisexual, who knows? Um, Elsewhere, the only one who did not have their resolved tension is Ersa, as we still see her with her big boobs, and let me tell you, she looks so mighty fine. The king Fiore has abdicated, and Hisue is now queen, and as help for having stopped the ultimate evil, Crime Secor is actually pardoned from their sins. Because Hisue is more concerned about the future than the past. People will all complain about this, but you all should know, at least true, now I was gonna do a bad argument by saying, at least they're not serial killers, but then I remember, oh yeah, maybe they did do some serial killer stuff. But people that are truly guilty of their sins deserve forgiveness. People that are truly evil deserves death. So, Hisue is just the kind of person that says that you should live for the future's sake. So Jalal is finally free, But the relationship between Ersa and Jalal, well, that didn't seem to happen. So in the end, many have a happy ending, and while Ersa is still happy, that is not exactly the happy ending, I guess. But she reads Lucy's book and she has begun to brush her hair, so one thing has happened. Makarov is alive, but of course, that is the one thing I complain about. It would have been at least a little bit more dramatic if he didn't survive. But at least they says that he can no longer walk. So who knows? And finally, we see that even though they have passed, a reincarnation people exist in fairy tale, as we see a reincarnation version of Seraph and Mavis. So who meet. The Seraph picks up the napkin, asking if Mavis is a publisher, and she says yes. So she is here. So the Seraph guy was here about that. As the Seraph guy asks why this Mavis version has also not shoes, and she forgot them. As they close, she mentions her. Well, technically, we do not see who is who, but one of them is Arias and then a Mio. So yeah, well, people will complain about that too. Oh, they also survived, and Indiana say they did not survive. That is just a reincarnation. Reincarnation is there, and they don't even have their memories of everything else. So in the end, yes, everyone did get their happy ending. And so, but the adventure will now end as Lucy uh, in her room, wondering if what she said was wonder if that was a room. So but it turns out that I actually once when I saw that too, I wondered, wait, was that a dream or was it a dream? So uh, but no, it wasn't a dream. Would you know how ironic it would have been if everything we saw was just a dream made by Lucy in that moment? That would have been the ultimate slap in the face to all the haters. But it also, for the few fairy tale fans left, which, by the way, were a very few, at least we would have been heartbroken. So Lucy collapsed after drinking too much. So, Natsu escorted her to her room, and she wonders if she actually did something dirty. So, but we don't know if it's true. As Natsu says, "Come on, let's have a job," she remembers every single adventure she has heard with Lucy, as she begins to cry and says that she hugs both the guys, saying, "If I hadn't met you, I would never have lived any of this." From the bottom of her heart, she thanks Natsu. And of course, Lucy and of course Natsu just ruins the scene by saying, "We should get to work." Basically, that's the. If anything, though, that scene is meant to be a little slap in the face for the few fans left, but also as a little hand wave to all the haters, saying, I'm sorry, Lucy Natsu will not happen after all." You know, there were some people who always criticized Natsu's character, and some others who say he was selfish. And while Hiro said he did not model him to be a hero, I mean, protect his friends, but that's it. He doesn't protect anyone else. In a way, I can agree. Here is a sign of Natsu's a little bit dense character. They had a moment, even Lucy thought they were going to kiss, but nah, he just had to ruin it. But that was basically Hiro Mashima's final troll to us. If there's one thing here fairy tale character Hiro Mashima-san has liked to do with us, it's trolling us. So he decided to troll us one last time. But Natsuya says that it's okay. What do you want to do from here on on? So with that, she get dressed, She meets up with Team Fair, Team Natsu, Wendy, Charlie, Elsa, and Grey, and they have now got permission to do a 100-year quest. As they're all fired up, the fairy from the very beginning flies past. Do fairies have tail? Do they not? Do fairies even exist? Do they? An eternal mystery that will continue an eternal adventure, and that's the origin of the guild's name. Despite being a game with a cute name, every day was fun, and I loved it very much. I hope everyone can find it something as irreplaceable fairy tale. And beloved friends, as memories now fade, uh, different emotions is created. It has affected a few, but has infuriated a many. Do fairies have tail, or do they not? That is the eternal mystery, just like the eternal mystery of magic and heartwarmingness. Magic is born out of love, and that is why the power of feelings affect it all. But now that chapter is over, as Hiromashima has now ended fairy tale. Yeah, difficult to believe, but it's over. Chapter 545. Thank you for all the fans. Well, I hate to break it to you, Hiromashima-san, but I don't think you really have that many fans left. Don't worry, you have me and Solaris, but other than that, no, I don't really know if there are any fans left. Yep, it's... oh, I want to cry, but unfortunately I'm not a good actor enough to force tears up. But now, fairy tale is over. Will we see another work by Hiromashima? I hope. I really do hope we will. Will it become just as successful? Probably not. Because as I said before, hatred is extremely strong. And I highly doubt anyone will want to reach his new work. I mean, I will read it. Will it be better? Will it be worse? Well, that's the problem. Few manga can actually be good in just 3 chapters. And technically you only need 3 chapters to make it a hit. So I don't really think Hiromashima will ever publish a... Sorry. So I don't think he would really publish any more successful things just because of all this hatred. But as I said in a different news, he's appearing in the New York Comic Con. That was a very big surprise. Oh, and by the way, we have a confirmation also. The final season of Fairy Tail have now been confirmed. Fairy Tail 2018 will finally animate the last of the chapters, which will make Fairy Tail one, if not the only, long-lived series that will get an ending. Well, Naruto got an ending, but then it got its sequel. Although it will be an eternal mystery on how people will think about that. But at least it will be worthy animated and have a good music again. So what's my final thoughts about Fairy Tail? Okay, I'll say it straightly. I agree with many. I'm not blind to there were many mistakes Hiromashima did. But at the same time doesn't mean he was the worst manga creator out there. What was the things I wish he had done? Well, I wish he had still killed off the master Makarov. It would have been a little bit more emotional, like the Chiba sacrifice. Second of all, he never ever ever introduced Angseram, the god of life and death. I actually wished he had done it, but if not introduced, at least just give us a confirmation on who that god was. In the end, it was a villain who never got what it was, which I hate. Oh, and also, we never really got an openly kiss. The only open kiss we got was a shadow kiss made by Mavis and Seraph. So yeah, so these relationships were just teased. Do not really like that. That's basically one of my biggest complaints. But now, Fairy Tail is over, and my reviews of Fairy Tail is over, but that does not mean I will forget it. The hatred of Fairy Tail will keep on growing strong. I will do everything in my power to try to fight it off. But now that Fairy Tail is over, I'm thinking of doing a very special video, hopefully this weekend, and about comparing Rave Master and Fairy Tail. Not who what was better, but maybe a little bit of both. Maybe one what is better in Fairy Tail, what is better in Rave Master, and maybe a little bit more what's the difference in all of that. Because as much as hatred has been hatred, there have been some people that even if they haven't liked Rave Master either, they have said that they preferred Rave Master. So I'm gonna dig in Rave Master a little bit, at least as much as I can, and then I will do a video comparing its better sides and its worse sides with Fairy Tail's better sides and worse side. All in all, thank you for the Fairy Tail. And again, to all haters out there, I curse you from the bottom of my chest. Give me your faults if you have any.